got all these travelers coming in from all over the place wanting to see the eclipse. We ran out of gas in one little town around here, so I guess we are on the map.
Yeah, a little bit of mania to brighten your day.
Yeah. Well,
But,
I mean, if
15-mile-long lines of traffic in some places. So,
well, thankfully, it'll be over soon.
I hear Oregon's normally a pretty nice state. Maybe less now with all the crowds.
yeah, probably. Hey, I did have some questions. I wanted to talk about it. Your interview preview guy, I told him about talking about atheism as a worldview.
Okay.
I was wondering if I could change that just a little bit.
Okay. Have you called before? You sound really familiar, actually.
I have. It's been a while.
Okay.
I'm a country pastor here in Oregon. I don't have any degrees or anything like that. So, but I am interested in atheism. I think its effect has been real negative in the world, and I mean that in the nicest possible way.
No, you don't.
That's true. That's right. I'm just trying to joke a little bit here. But I wanted to ask Don. He says that he's confronting this "you're so special" mentality from Christians.
Mm-hmm.
How big's the universe?
I'm not sure exactly.
It's really big.
How far away is the closest star?
Light years.
Yeah, like 13.8 million.
Beyond the sun, of course.
I'm sorry. The closest star is so it's 8 light minutes. But then after that,
it's unfathomably vast.
Yeah, I stand corrected. The sun is okay. In light of the next closest star, how many planets are there with life out there?
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't actually have that good detection to find that out.
We're looking for planets that might be hospitable to life as we know it, which is a bit of a guess. And we found a number of such planets, but they're so far away that we can't know whether it actually has life. Yeah,
that's an interesting thing because the planets have to be orderly. They have to go around the sun and they have to be a certain size, and the sun has to be a certain size, and all that.
Can you be more specific when you say have to? Because, I mean, a lot of things about the way we observe the universe are just describing the way we've noticed it does, in fact, behave. Like, the planets don't just happen to orbit around a star. They do that because patterns emerge based on gravitational forces. If things turned out differently, then we would just describe that way that they happen to be, and we'd still find that amazing.
Well, I guess the order that the scientists can depend upon when they try to observe defined planets in other solar systems, for example, they depend on that order. A planet, going around the sun or the star.
Well, that's more or less how gravity works,
certain size criteria to determine whether there's, according to the size of the sun, the planet has to meet a certain size criteria to have life on it. I really don't want to go there too much.
These are all guesses, educated guesses.
If we're the only planet with, let's just say 13.8 million, bear with me a little bit on that, then doesn't that by virtue of the sheer enormity of the universe show that we're special?
We don't know. We have one data point, and there may be billions of data points that we just don't know.
Right.
So the proper answer is that we don't know.
So I'm a software engineer, and right now I'm basically writing a program in my head that just randomly lights up pixels on my screen in different colors. It can be completely random, and I can hit the button and it will go. And when I arrive at that combination of pixels, I can say, anybody else running this program, it would be incredibly unlikely that they would get this same combination of pixels. So this combination is super unlikely and must be special. But I mean, the fact that it's rare doesn't automatically make it special or unique in a way, because so it takes a little more than that to say that something is naturally special or planned.
Well, I guess we can agree to disagree. It just seems like when you have, even with 7 billion people that are on our planet, and we're the only life that we know of for millions of miles around, that by virtue of itself would make it pretty remarkable. It would make us, in my understanding, would make us special.
Well, like
but
I said
we're special
earlier,
within
to
that
us,
radius, for sure. But we don't know beyond that radius.
One more thing, if I could, on that.
Well, I mean,
you guys just kick me off. I can get kind of long-winded sometimes. I am a preacher.
Well, goes with the territory.
Go for
I can get long-winded too.
Well, Don, you did prepare about a week for the that 15-minute message there. So yeah, you kind of preachers do that about a week. I wanted to talk about we're no different than any other species. Are you sure about that?
Well, we're no different than, how do I say this right? We have a unique constellation of things that are true.
Niche,
we're unique-ish. The cheetah is unique in its own way, and the giraffe is unique in its own way, and the slime molds is unique in its own way, and so everything's unique.
Right, like combinations of pixels.
I can't help but think of special comes to mind when you think about how how evolution thought thinks that we have evolved from primates. It seems to me that the things that we can do, and I know you've heard this before, and it just popped out of my pen when I was writing it when you said it, is I don't see any primates flying around in airplanes or singing music or doing the things that man can do. We just watched a movie that showed it, the Hidden Figures movie, where it showed
great
man
movie.
going into orbit, John Glenn orbiting the planet. Doesn't that make us special? I mean, doing the things that we can do certainly should make us identify us as special.
Well,
sorry. Emo Phillips had a comedy routine that I really liked, among many. He said, I used to think that the brain was the most fascinating part of the body. And then I realized, well, look what's telling me that. So
yeah, I mean, on that one, but time forbids me.
Right. So we're super interesting to ourselves, and I think that I think that there's good reason for that, and it's fair to say that the fact that we're here is incredibly fascinating to us. Has anyone ever told you Douglas Adams' puddle analogy?
I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever heard it.
He said, it's sort of like if you were a puddle of water and you looked around and said, oh, this hole I've made is perfectly shaped to fit all around me just perfectly, so it must have been designed to have me in it. But it's after the fact, if the water is shaped to the hole, that is a property of the water working to fill in the spaces around it, and it's not necessarily an indication of some kind of design or purpose to the hole that it wound up in.
I guess we just marvel at the capabilities that the water does have.
Yeah, well, what? I don't. When I notice a puddle on the street, I don't usually say, hey, this is an amazing puddle. I think that learning about the properties of water is interesting, but I don't think that this needs to be the process of design. It's just emergent properties.
So
it seems to me that those emergent property things kind of fall apart a little bit when you get into just the fact that the water does have a purpose.
Well, you'll have to demonstrate that first. You're going about it the wrong way.
Oh, explain to me why then.
Capital P purpose, as in God put it there to, blah, blah, blah.
Well, the water has a purpose, right?
No. It's a collection of molecules.
With no purpose?
With no purpose.
Nope.
No.
To give water to the earth so the seeds can grow and and
No,
eat
I
enough
mean,
food.
No,
that happens.
We don't see that.
You understand what atheist means, right? I mean, you get that we don't believe that there's somebody giving people purpose. It's fine if you want to convince us that there is, but just saying that there's a purpose doesn't wind up convincing us.
Right, I understand. I understand that. Well, I guess sort of. I guess if I understood it the way that you'd like, I would be an atheist, right?
Well, no, because I think it's possible to explain somebody else's point of view and make a fair job of it and still not be convinced by it. I mean, I think I understand Christianity pretty well, but that doesn't mean that I think it's likely to be true.
Were you ever a follower of Christ?
No, I was raised a secular Jew. But I've hung out with a lot of Christians and had them tell me what they
I know
think.
you guys have. Well, that kind of takes me to my next question. Do I have time for that, or do I need to call back
Well,
some other
before
time?
we move on, I'd like to go back to a point you made. You said that we were the only species that went into space or went to the moon. I forget exactly what example you gave. Can you remind? Fly an airplane. So
write a novel, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. So for any of those things, were we special before that happened?
Well, certainly.
Okay, then it's not that distinction then that makes us special, right?
Well, I don't think we can ignore the distinction.
No, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I watched a show last night on feline evolution and the different varieties of cats and things. And one of these cats was quite large, and he could climb straight up a tree. And I can't do that, and I don't know any human that can do that, at least with the agility of this animal. And so, yeah, that's pretty special, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
I would say that all of God's creation is special, but men seem to be more unique and have more special characteristics.
So they're all special, but some are.
They are feared. Men generally are feared by every species of animal, most every species.
To me, that just sounds like ego talking. I mean.
Okay, so you want to move on to your other point, sir? You want to move on to your other point?
Well, we'll take a couple more minutes.
So
okay.
I did want to talk about atheism being a worldview, but I'll have to pass on that one, I guess, unless you guys think it's okay if I...
Try again next week. I don't want to say... I mean, you're certainly welcome to call back, but we'll move on for now. And thanks for your call.
I don't know when I'll get another chance. That's why I wanted to try to hit it. So anyway, nice talking to you guys. I'll hope to talk to you later.
All right, talk to you next time, Tom.